There are three types of Max Verstappen fans that are emerging this year, and in this particular video, I want to explain to you what I mean by this. That Max Verstappen is struggling so far in 2026, that is no longer in doubt. We know that, and we have experienced it at least during the Australian Grand Prix, the sprint race in China, and the full race in China as well. It is clear that Max Verstappen and Red Bull have not gotten on top of the car that they have actually created, and they are having issues whereby Max Verstappen is actually struggling a lot during the race, to the point of him actually not even finishing the Chinese Grand Prix. This is a situation that probably is not very fun to watch for Max Verstappen fans. And I can almost guarantee you that even the people who don't necessarily support Max Verstappen, they are not happy to see him struggling the way he is at the moment. But what I think is most interesting is to find that when you look at his fans, or when you try to understand where their fans are coming from, you can start to see a certain picture emerging where it seems that Max Verstappen has three types of fans. And I want to explain to you what I mean. Type 1 are actually the fans who actually came to know Max Verstappen in 2021 and who have been with him up to this particular moment. What this means is that those are the fans who got to know him when he won his first title and has seen him being dominant with the Red Bull in the previous seasons. So they really cannot understand what is going on. They do not know Max when he is actually struggling. So they do not have that history. And those are the fans who probably are unable to accept of the current situation. They're probably having a very difficult time seeing their champion actually not even finishing a race. And I don't think they actually have the context of, the previous versions of Max Verstappen. And it is unfortunate that they find themselves in this particular situation, but at least it is what it is, and I think that's one group of fans that actually support Max Verstappen. If this is the first time that you and I are meeting, I am Joe, and on this YouTube channel I talk about Formula One and the business of Formula One. And I would really appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. The Type 2 fans, or the second group of Max Verstappen fans, are those fans who can only praise the driver. They are the ones who actually believe in Max Verstappen, and at the moment, they are the ones who only think that the reason why he's struggling is because of the current new regulations. I don't think that this is a group that you can convince otherwise. Their belief is that the only reason why Max Verstappen is struggling is because of the new regulation. And I think it doesn't help that Max Verstappen himself does not like these new regulations a lot. I think he has been one of the most consistent and vocal critic of this new regulation. And the fact that it is not working out for him, that probably gives this group of fans a reason to believe that the reason why the driver is not performing well is because of the regulations. And I think you can see where they are coming from, because it's true, these new regulations are not actually helping Max Verstappen. And also other drivers have raised their concerns. So they might be having a point that the issue is regulation, it's not necessarily the car of the driver. The Type 3 fans, or the third group of Max Verstappen fans, are the OG fans of Max Verstappen. And at the moment, these ones are calm. They are not being emotional about the current situation. They have accepted that the driver is not performing well, that Red Bull does not have a car that is actually worth of fighting in the front of the grid at the moment, and they are okay with it. And if you look at most of these guys, they are the fans who have been with Max Verstappen for the longest. These are the ones who have seen him in different stages, when he was struggling, when Red Bull did not have a car that could compete in the front, and they have come through that journey with him. They have seen him at the back, they have seen him not finishing in front of the grid, they have seen him in second, in third places, and they have seen him winning championships. These guys have been through all the cycles of Max Verstappen, and therefore they understand that maybe this is another part of his journey, is a cycle that will provide, not the best for out of Max, in the sense that he may not be in a position to win races this year or even next year, and maybe he will not even be winning a championship in 2026 or 2027. Of course, you can't know how things can turn out over the course of a season, but at least this group of fans are realistic and they understand the situation, they accept it, and they hope that things can only improve. The one thing that is constant among all the three types of Max Verstappen fans is that they are passionate about Formula One. They love the sport, they love the cars, and they love the driver. They may not agree with the current situation and they may not be happy with how things are at the moment, but the one thing that you cannot doubt about them is their love for the sport. And I think that's a good thing, because when you think about Formula One as a sport, it goes in cycles. There are times when drivers are doing very well, and the other times drivers are not doing very well. I think we have already seen that. Those people who have supported Fernando Alonso so far know that there was a time when he was winning and now he's not winning. And I think the other group that you can actually even speak to and they would share the same sentiments are Team LH. Those supporters of Lewis Hamilton were with him when he was winning and have had four years when he has not won a championship. At the moment, he seems to be happy and he seems to be excited driving, this year's Ferrari, which is different from when he was driving the cloud effect cars. You can also argue the same about Tifosi, who have not had a championship for the last 15 or 16 years, probably even 20 when it comes to Constructors' Championship. So these things happen in cycles. Sometimes a driver and a team are up and another time they are down. I hope this is not the start of a period when Max Verstappen will be down, when he will not be able to win races, to win a championship, because if these regulations are supposed to go up to allowed 2030, then those would be 3-4 years of Max Verstappen being in the midfield of the current grid, which is probably something some of the fans who support him are not willing to accept. And I do hope that Red Bull can find something to sort out the car. They can be able to overcome some of the challenges that they have, because I think the sport would actually be very good if we had Max Verstappen also fighting in the front of the grid. This is going to be it from me on this video. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not, and I'm going to see you in my next video.